Hey there, guys. Welcome to today's podcast on the challenges of writing in English. I'm Kirsten, and if you're listening to me for the first time, I'm super pleased to have you here while we dig a little deeper into English learning. And today I want to chat about writing. I know this can get a bit stressful for many of you, so I'm going to try and keep this as a chill space for anyone who wants to write better in English, but especially if you're working in a technical or a global environment. And I'm going to dive into something that sounds a little heavy: writing styles, grammar, technical English, all that great stuff. But don't worry, I'm going to try and keep things light and hopefully a little bit fun. But first, I want to start with my story in writing, and it's actually a confession. In high school, I was the kid who wanted nothing more than to be a creative writer. I read everything I could get my hands on. I wrote all the time, and I was always in trouble with my family because I hadn't got my homework done because I was writing something. I poured my heart into everything I wrote, every essay, every story, every poem. I read books about writing. I copied down beautiful quotes and sentences and had them all over my wall. Honestly, I tried really hard. And my father, who is a professor of psychology, he would sit and read everything I wrote. And he had those glasses, the ones that you only need for reading. So he would pull them down his nose, he would read what I wrote, and he would look over the top of his glasses at me. And he would always look at me with this face expression, and he'd say, "This is really good. How did you learn to write like this?" It always made me feel really nice. But at school, my English grades, always a B plus, every single time. I spoke to my dad and said, "You think it's great, but I'm not getting the mark at school." And he said what every parent in the world would say: "You need to ask your teacher." So I did. I made an appointment with Mrs. Walsh. We sat down and I asked her, "What do I need to improve to get an A?" She told me that my writing was good. It was technically correct, but it just didn't speak to her. Ouch, right? I was frustrated. There may have been a few dramatic teenage tears in my room. I won't admit that publicly. But here's the twist. That B plus was actually a gift. I gave up on my idea of becoming a creative writer. I actually then went and got a job as a librarian at Melbourne University. If you love books, that's the perfect job, right? And it was there that I actually decided to become a scientist. I am very logic driven, and I went back to school and went back to science, and I had an amazing career. And I found out that creative writing isn't the only kind of writing out there. I discovered technical writing, and later I discovered global English. Now, it turns out being technically correct is exactly what you need in those writing styles. So I'm talking about a few different styles of writing. Let me try and break it down a little bit more. I'm going to talk about creative writing, technical writing, and global English. But there's more than that out there. There's journalistic writing, there's academic writing. Each one has its own purpose and style. So for creative writing, it's all about emotion, storytelling and making a connection with your reader. Technical writing is all about clarity, structure, and accuracy. That is, getting your facts right. It's certainty, it's efficiency. But what is global English? That might be one you've not heard much about. Global English is all about making your writing clear and accessible to people from all around the world. even if English isn't their first language. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to be a master of all of them. You just need to focus on the style that fits your needs right now. And I want to give you a little warning, or maybe a huge warning, especially for my ESL friends. Don't try to learn excellent writing just by copying native speakers. Native speakers write like we talk. Long, messy sentences, lots of slang. We go off on sidetracks, we come back. Basically, it's just a jumble. Without body language or tone of voice, it can be confusing, even for the other native speakers. Global English steps in to save the day. It's all about clean, simple sentences. Does it make you sound like a toddler? Nope. It makes you sound smart. Short sentences, simple words, no idioms. You'll actually sound clearer and more professional. Let's make this practical. If you are looking to practice global English, there's a couple of tips that you can use right now. Keep your sentences short and sweet. Aim for one idea per sentence. Use simple, direct words. Don't say commence when you can say start. Avoid idioms and slang. They don't always translate well, and they can confuse your reader. And if you're writing technical documents in particular, remember, sometimes you need to use the passive voice to focus more on the action, not the person. The report was completed, not John completed the report. It's not about hiding responsibility. It is about focusing on what is most important to your reader. Now, I have a permission slip for you. You don't have to be perfect. I am still a proud B+ writer in creative writing, and that's okay. I do have ambitions to become an author in time in the future, but I will have to work on my creative writing skills quite a bit until then. I haven't done that because I didn't need that. What matters today is that your writing does the job you need it to, whether that's explaining something, instructing someone, or creating a connection with your reader. Now, if you want to go deeper, I do have a new course coming up that's all about how global English can improve your technical writing. It has real-world tasks, scenarios from the mining industry. Now, if you're interested, check out the waiting list for some more information down in the show notes. And if you've missed the articles that inspired this podcast episode, you can find them in the links below as well. Give them a read, or just keep listening here, whatever works for you. Listen, thanks for hanging in and getting through to the end of the episode with me today. Remember, writing is a journey and you're not alone. Keep it simple, keep it clear, but most importantly, keep going.